afternoon. Right? Good afternoon. I'm excited to be here. I'm very thankful. This is the second time I've been able to speak to a crowd this large. Very excited. So go ahead and jump right into it. I don't want you guys walking back to Oklahoma City when the bus is leaving. So a little bit more about me. I'm an educator by accident. My bachelor's degree was actually in business. I had a business degree. I wanted to be a business manager because business managers make really good money, right? And that's why you go to college, so you can make really good money. But one of my friends brothers, so I'm going to make it up if I told him, I was like, hey, I got a car now, I need a job. So tell me, he's like, well, actually, I got offered this job at San Fe South. Y'all are listening, good job. So he's like, actually, I got this interview at San Fe South, why don't you just go to my interview? Like, you're stupid, like, they gave you the interview, not me the interview. He's like, well, no, just go to my interview. No. If I call them and they say, you can go to my interview, will you go to my interview? I'm like, all right, if they're crazy enough to let me go to your interview and interview for your job, then I'll go. So he got on the phone and I'm like, no, you're lying. He's like, yeah, just think you can go. So you didn't even call anybody, you didn't even phone. So I got on the phone, hello? He's like, hello, this is Mr. Pope. Yes, this is Ronald. Did you really just tell my friend that I can go to his interview? Yes. Okay, he's like, actually, you can come meet us right now. Right now? Like, right now, or let me go home and get changed? He's like, no, you can go right now. I was like, I'm wearing shorts and sandals. Like, you really want me right now? Yeah, let's go ahead. So I drove up there. Had a very, very good meeting. They basically offered me a job on the spot, to be an alternative school teacher. So I worked at the alternative school for 4 years, and it was through that time where I realized where my life, where my path had really kind of said, okay, look, we took all of these bad experiences, and then we took this college experience and this interaction, with all your fraternity brothers, and it really got to show me where my heart was, and that's where it met. Right? It met because education changed my life, and now I was able to work in education to change other people's lives. So I was at the alternative school for 4 years. Left for a year because I wanted to be a college recruiter. I wanted to do this every single day. I went back to Santa Fe South because I loved it. I loved the students. I missed it. I was there for another 4 years. This year I get a job at John Martin. And so, again, right, I'm an educator by accident, even my master's. I was an educator, and even my master's is an administration master's. It's a political science degree. Because again, I thought this was kind of like a temporary thing. Like, look, this fulfills my heart, let me do this. But now our family is growing. I need to do something better. I need to do something bigger from my family. And it's through events like this that I realized that I can't do anything bigger than what I'm doing right now. I can't do anything bigger, I can't do anything greater than talking to students in my office, even if they're messing up, even if they're signing paperwork for an expulsion. I can't do anything better than that at that moment. I'm impacting lives. And so when I was asked to speak, they said, can you tie it around this idea of creciendo juntos? And I'm like, yeah, I can do that, because I can do anything, right? And so I really started thinking about it, okay, so how am I going to tie in creciendo juntos, right, which is speech, when I'm very used to talking about myself, and I'm very used to talking about education, how can I tie this all together? And so I started thinking about what it really meant. What does it mean, creciendo juntos? And I think you can look at it in one of two different ways, right? So creciendo juntos, right? So we're growing together, right? So that means kind of like plants, all in the field, right? And we're all growing together at the same time. We're all going straight up. We're all growing together. Everybody does that already. That's not special, right? Everybody, you don't even have to know your neighbors whenever you buy your nice house, whenever you have your college degree. People don't even know their neighbors, but they're growing together, right? You kind of watch their kids go into the garage, you watch them play in the driveway a little bit, but they're growing. You watch the kids grow. Our neighbors have seen our kids grow. We're growing together. And I said it has to be there, but then there's another meaning, and I think there's a much better meaning, and this is the meaning that I really want you guys to take home. I want you guys to live with this thought, right? Growing together could also mean not just as, like a tree, right? A tree can grow straight up. We're growing together at the same time, but growing together this way, right? Growing closer, right? So this idea, we're growing closer together, closer as a community, closer as a people, and why not, right? why not? So there are so many Hispanics here, so many minorities here, and what I see whenever I look at the community is I see we have like these little pockets, right? I'll go to Hispanic chamber events, and and it's always like almost like the same people, right? Why are we not doing a better job as a community of growing together and pulling in these other people and saying, hey, come over here, come with me, come over here, come with me, so that we can be of one mind, so that we can be of one voice. You know, Hispanics, we're going to be the largest minority if we're not already. Oklahoma City has over 50%, Oklahoma City Public Schools has over 50% Hispanic people. Where's the voice? Right? The voice is fragmented because we have not done a great job. The blame is on us. We can't blame anybody else. We're real quick to point fingers sometimes, but the blame is on us. We have not done the job that we should be doing of uniting, of growing together as one people, as one voice. So I really want you to kind of think about that. So as a high school student, as a counselor, as a teacher, as an employee of the University of Oklahoma, as a business person, what can you do? What can you do personally through your areas of influence? Because we all have areas of influence. Even if it is just your little brother, your little sister, that one little cousin that listens to you, follows you around everywhere. We all have our areas of influence. What can you do through your circles of influence to promote a positive change, to impact somebody so that as a people, right, and now I'm looking at, macro level, so I mean high in the sky looking down, right? What can we do as a people to really grow together, to unite? And I think the key, as corny as it sounds, the key is through positive friendship. I look back at my life, and when I was in high school, I mean, I'm telling you, there's so much that I did not put on that little paragraph of a bio. But when I was in high school, all of my friends were bad friends. We had a lot of fun, right? We had a lot of scares too, but we had a lot of fun, but they weren't good people. They weren't good friends, right? These were friends that were like, hey, let's go do this. And we're like, no, this is a crime, right? That's not a good friend, right? Good friends don't tell you, hey, let's go do this crime together, right? Good friends don't tell you, hey, let's go this, let's go do this. They weren't good friends, they weren't good people. And so I think the key to growing together is by establishing those networks, establishing really strong friendship, and working with those people to grow, to unite, to be as one. So how do you make good friends, right? I literally left San Antonio and I left all the stuff that I was doing. I left my family. My family wasn't anything but positive, but I had to leave all that behind to really just sever all those negative ties. And that's where I met the fraternity. First day of school, these guys are just everywhere. And I'm running into the same guys wearing the same red shirts with the same, weird letters, and there's a triangle, horseshoe triangle. It's just everywhere I go, right? And I'm like, horseshoe triangle, they're all wearing red. And I didn't understand it, but through them, right, through the friendships that I started creating, they got me to college, right? They got me through the second week really. They got me through the second week of college because that was the most difficult. I was ready to quit after the second day of college. I was done with it. I was like, I don't belong here, I'm not smart enough, nothing. National Exchange Scholar. There's a Ronald grant somewhere that is a million times smarter than me, and that's called a scholarship, right? They just sent it to the wrong address. And I'm like, you know what? I was really convincing myself that no, this isn't for me, this isn't for me. After 2 days of being here on campus. Don't get me wrong, the people here are great. And I had a lot of people, there were a lot of activities, and we had a lot of fun. The people here were great. But I still didn't feel like I belonged. I didn't feel like it was me. But I kept running into these guys, and they kept encouraging me, like, hey, why don't you come hang out? Why don't you come do this? And dinner, is it free? Yeah, okay, yeah. They're like, hey, you play video games? Yeah. No, I'm horrible, right? But I was like, yeah, I play video games. It's easy to kind of talk to guys, and so I was like, dang, these guys are like pretty cool. Like, they don't even know me, but they keep asking me, to come around and do this stuff. And I was like, so what do you guys got? Like, we need service, and I was like, you need service? That's for people on probation, you know what I mean? At least that's all I knew about community service. And they're like, no, we do it for fun. Like, what kind of community service do you do? Oh, we go over here, we do some volunteer hours, there's a lot of hands-on stuff. I was like, well, that's pretty cool, I guess, right? I was like, but, y'all do this a whole lot? Yeah, we hang out. And so I still was uncertain. And so one of the brothers was from Houston, and he said, you know what, you're from San Antonio, I'm driving down that way because my girlfriend is at UT Austin, I can take you down to San Antonio. For real? He's like, yeah. For real? Yeah. Like, all right. So let me take my stuff, and I really had it all planned out. I took a bunch of stuff with me. I took all my important stuff, and I was going to stay home. I was going to stay home. I was like, you know what, I'm done. This was after the first week of school. And I was going to stay in San Antonio. I was like, I'm not coming back, man. Like, you know, it's just not working out for me. I can stay home. And so on the way down there, he's telling me about the fraternity. I'm like, okay, he's giving me a free ride. Just listen. And so I get home and I talk to my mom. I'm like, Mom, I don't want to go to college anymore. She's like, why? I'm like, I don't feel like I belong. She's like, because you do what you want. Okay, my mom's always like that. She's always been, like, no, you do what you want, and do what's right. And then when she said it that way, like, my mind kind of changed, right? I was like, well, is this really right? It's just like my feelings are hurt, and I don't know how to deal with my feelings, and so I said, you know what do I have to lose, right? I had my tuition paid for, my room and board paid for. There's these guys, like, they seem interested in me, let me just hang around with them. I was like, you know what, let me do this first semester. So Hector picks me back up, we come back to OU. I decided, to pledge a fraternity, and I developed my friendships were so strong, right, with those guys, and they were so positive that, I decided to stay. And if I wouldn't have stayed, I wouldn't have met my wife. I wouldn't have my 3 boys, that's like amazing. I'm going to start talking about them now. But I wouldn't have all of that. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have been at Santa Fe. I wouldn't have met all these, great young people trying to do something better, but they just never saw it. They never saw it. They weren't exposed to anything but what their family was doing, what their cousins were doing, what the neighborhood was doing. They just didn't know any different. And so, good friendships. That's what changed my life. When I really look at it, it was good friendships. People that were speaking life to me rather than, let's go do this, let's go do that, let's go do that. Hey, what are you doing right now? Hey, you got this, you got, it wasn't any of that. And so, good friends. How do you make good friends, right? Three very simple things that I can think of. One of them, and I think this is probably the most important, but the number one thing is be yourself. When I came here, I wasn't pretending to be anything that I wasn't. When I came here, I was from Westside San Antonio, these poor projects. I was a ghetto kid, right? And so I come here and I'm wearing my Nike chanclas, my socks up to my knees, my shorts, low-rider shirts. Ask the guys, ask Homer. Homer was here. I mean, I dressed like a cholo. I was like, that's who I am. But then I'm watching these guys, with their polo shirts and they're tucked in, loafers with no socks, I really don't fit in, it's like I really felt like I didn't fit in, but I didn't try to be like them just so that I could fit in. I was like, no, this is who I am, that I'm gonna be me. And because I was me, other people saw that and either had to respect me for it, or they had to adapt. But that's the sign of a true friend, right? We don't make friends with people that are exactly like us. That's a sorry life. I mean, that's a sorry life. If all your friends are exactly like you, then I feel sorry for you. I mean, because you need people that are going to challenge you. You need people that are going to disagree with you because it gives you these multiple perspectives. Because I think what we have as a community is we have community. We have fellowship. We talk to each other. You want to know it's none of your business. No, you don't say that in Hispanic culture. Everything is everybody's business, right? Because everybody will talk about everybody else. So be yourself. That way, when everybody's talking about you behind your back, they're saying the same thing, and it's okay. Right? So number one, be yourself, because everybody's going to be talking about you. If they're hearing different things from different people, they're going to have problems trusting you. Right? And so trust is, that being yourself leads to trust. People can trust you as long as you're yourself 100% of the time. The other one is you have to be able to communicate. Right? And so whenever I was running with the wrong crowd, you always had that one leader. You always had that one knuckleheaded kid, right? That would kind of get everybody else to do whatever he wants them to do. Right? But there's always that one person, and everybody else is, from the wall, just following, doing whatever, right? You have to be able to communicate. So communicating is not telling other people what to do, right? It's a lot of listening. It's a lot of listening, it's a lot of talking, it's a lot of, okay, so taking this and taking that, okay, let's do this. Communicating is also being in the moment. And this is so important now because when I talk to people, when I talk to kids, when I see them in the hallway, they're literally, I mean, a group of about 5 of them, they're all on their phones doing their own thing. It's like, who are you communicating? You know what I mean? It's like, and they might be talking to each other, but their eyes are over here on the phone, or they're doing this. And then they cafeteria, they have one headphone on, the other one's off, they're texting, and the whole table is talking to each other. But I'm like, how is that? That's not communication. Okay, so to really communicate, it has to be face to face, and you have to unplug. Put the phone down. Put the phone down for 30 minutes with your friends every single day. Find out what's really going on in their life. Don't read about it on Facebook, right? Don't be like, oh, you know, you're reading about what happened in your school day when you were in all your classes, but you had to go to Facebook to find out what they did. Come on now. You have to go to Instagram and look at pictures of them in the bathroom, you know, during 3rd hour classes, right? To really know what they're doing. No, that's silly. Like, you don't need all that. Put the phone down, put the electronics away. Talk to each other, right? Share your life with each other face to face. That's how you develop those strong friendships. The friendships I developed with the fraternity brothers happen at community service events, where we could have, you know, we're over here storing these big old freaking slices of fish and doing stuff. You can't be on your phone while you're doing community service, and I think that I didn't appreciate that until after I got out, because when you do things with your hands with a group of people for a prolonged period of time, you don't do it. At work, I'm in my office, I'm talking to one student, I'm talking to 3 students, I'm talking to parents, I'm in the hallways, in the halls, I'm doing all that. I don't have time to stop and be like, okay, let me take this group of people and let me do this thing with them. And that's something that I really appreciate about my experience with the fraternity, is that it affords, can we do a community service as a group with our phones in our pockets, and back then, not many of us had cell phones, crazy, right? It allowed us to communicate and develop, like really get to know each other on a personal level. And then the last thing, the last part, and it's very much related to the other two, so I think it's kind of a good way to summarize, okay, this is how to build good friendship. This is how to build a friendship, a true friendship. Is you have to be honest. You have to be honest. Again, if people can't trust you, right, you're not going to be the first person they call, you know, when something's wrong. If somebody is trusting you, now you've established these lines of communication, right? So you're opening up and you're telling this person, you know what, this is one of my, like, dark secrets. And this is one of the things that I really want to do, right? I want to do this with my life, but I don't know how to get there. I'm scared, I'm nervous. And as a man, it's a whole lot harder. It's a whole lot harder. It's a lot harder to open up to another person, male or female, and be like, these are my insecurities, right? But you have to be honest about them. And then at the same time, if the other person is communicating with you, they're listening, they're taking that in, and they're finding ways to encourage you, right? They're finding ways to help. You have to be able to open up to each other and stop hiding stuff, right? We all go through things, and we don't know this, right? I mean, you really think your family is the only family that's ever been divorced? That's gone through a really bad divorce? That's not true. You really think that you're the first person, you know, that may be the valedictorian, or maybe the last person in the class, right, that has ever tried to apply to go to college because that's your life dream? You're not the only one. Right? Stop hiding stuff. You could be the dead last person in your graduating class of seniors. You can still get to college. You just have to be open about it. Don't lie on your application. Don't lie to recruiters. Don't just be very upfront. They will help you, but you have to be willing to say, just be honest. This is me. I am a D student. Right? I have trouble with reading, and my family life is horrible. I really want to go to college. Can you help me? You put all that out on the table, I guarantee more people will be willing to help you than will be willing to help you. And if you take this advice and if you start cultivating those positive friendships, right? I mean, I did it in college, and so now, I mean, I look around now, right? I see Eli and his wife. I knew Eli when he was in high school, Southeast High School. I knew Eli at Southeast, and it was just something I said, you know what? This guy seems kind of cool, I want to make him a friend, right? I always tell the guys, it's kind of like dating another guy. It's weird, but that's what you have to do when you're in a fraternity, right? You're dating guys all the time. You're getting to know them, and you're seeing if they're a good fit. Can we relate to each other? Can we do something? Because only through that, there's, you know, we can have an application process and we can have an interview, but that's not how you make a girlfriend, right? If I was there with my wife, she would have been like, you know, like, I'm sorry. Right? She had to get to know me to find out that my heart was similar to hers, and that's why it's worked out for 13 years. Right? It's not because I checked. It's not because I checked all the right boxes on her application for that thing, right? Because I was like the last person you probably wouldn't even thought of, right? You know, but once you got to know me and got past some of those, you know, things that were there, I mean, we just had to deal with them. Once we got past that, she said, okay, yes, I know his heart, it matches, we can make this work. Because marriage is nothing but a prolonged friendship over a long period of time, right? But I look at, you know, like Rachel, like now we have kids in the same age bracket, right? We have Elijah and Ronnie, they're like in the same age bracket. You know, we have Jocelyn and Jaylee, you know. We have kids in the same age bracket and we're doing life together. We had a banquet last week and we were all there. We go out afterwards, right? We go out to eat after that. You know, we're doing life together. We're sharing life together. We do this with Sal and Jennifer. We have kids in the same age bracket, but we are, again, the theme of the conference, right? We are growing together. We're not just like, okay, yeah, we're doing our own thing, we're doing our own thing, we have kids. No, tomorrow we're going to a birthday party. Another fraternity brother's daughter is having a birthday party, so we're going to that. And that's doing life together. But it's those friendships that our kids are going to grow up with, and they're going to be able to see, like, dang, Dad, like, you guys are like all old, and y'all talking about the same stuff all over the time. And, you know, they have the same tattoos and like what's all, you know. But I mean, they're going to see that we've been friends for a long period of time, and so now we're even talking about like, dang, like Joaquin, Elijah, and Ronnie can be in the same pledge class, right? And then one of them could be the educator to Jaden, you know. So we start looking at like the way like the fraternity, you know, like growing, like we're looking into the future. It's like they very well could be pledging at the same chapter at the same time. And it would have never happened if we all would have joined this fraternity, we would have done our own thing, left, taken care of ourselves, and forgotten about everybody else around us. So again, I want you to really think about, really examine your friends, and don't do this in front of their face, right? But I want you to really examine your friends, and I want you to start making mental pictures, because what you're going to realize is at the end of your senior year, yes, you have a ton of friends, you have a ton of people that you hang around with, but once you graduate, it's difficult to keep in contact with everybody, even through social media. And you're going to realize that out of that big old group of friends that you have right now, you're going to have this core group. You're going to have these 5 or 6 that you're going to continue hanging around with. You're going to continue talking to. You know, you might be pregnant at the same time. Y'all might be going to the same college. Y'all might be going through similar things. But it's going to be that core group of friends that I really encourage you to start growing together with. I want you to do life. I want you to unite. I want you to help each other out. Because the other beautiful thing about growing together, right, is you get to the point where you depend on each other. Right? If 2 trees are like this and now they're like this, what happens when one of them leaves? Boom, it falls. Right? And that's the other beautiful thing. Maybe you leave yourself vulnerable, but it's through that vulnerability where you learn true trust. Right? You know, whenever our wives, you know, can talk to each other about whatever without feeling nervous, without feeling like, oh, she's going to think this about me. No, they can do all that. They can lean on each other and support each other. And it's like a whole different level of friendship. You know, guys the same way. Right? It's a little bit harder to open up sometimes, but I feel very confident that I can tell them anything, leave myself vulnerable, right? Leave myself vulnerable. Okay, are they really going to pull away from me? No, these guys aren't going to let me fall. So, I want to, again, thank everybody here for listening to me. I hope that you really kind of just go home, think about your friends. Think about your family, right? What are you doing to grow together as a family? Those of you that have little brothers, little sisters. What are you doing to not just set the example, because it's not just enough to graduate. How many conversations are you having with your younger siblings? How many conversations are you having with your cousins, your little cousins? Right? Because they're watching everything you're doing, and they're going to try to do it. But if you're not talking to them, if you're not encouraging them, if you're not giving them those words of wisdom, they're going to get here and they're going to make the same mistakes I made, the same mistakes some of you will make. Talk to each other, let's learn from each other's mistakes. So thank you very much.
To promote higher education and as a social